Hello and welcome back to another Rush Duel Links video. We have just had the new Forbidden/Limited list get released and we are really looking forward to seeing what is going to be in here. So what we're really looking for is probably just to be hitting the Light and Dark Galaxy Fusion decks because those decks are a little bit strong. Dark Galaxy is a little bit frustrating because it feels like it kind of cheeses wins and kind of steals wins out of nowhere and you can't really play around it very well. And Light Galaxy is definitely the outlier in terms of the most powerful deck. It took so many of the top 100 spots in the WCQ. So we're expecting those decks to get hit. Outside of that, I think it's not really easy to predict. I think a lot of people don't like the Spellcaster list because it has been quite strong on ladder. But there's not really a convincing way to hit the deck. We'd really like to see a limit 3. But I don't think it's going to get one. And the reason why is because I think the card that you would limit 3 in that deck is Strange Witch. And I don't think they're going to hit a box SR that is this new. We did have a video going over all of our reasonings for this, but I don't think they're going to hit any box SRs, which also makes it difficult to know what they're going to hit in Light Galaxy as well. Because in my mind, Extraplora is probably the best target. Other than that, it would be like Galactiara Eve to 3, and I don't think they're going to hit those box SRs. So I think what's more likely is they hit either older cards or cards that are rare or below, so like R and Ns from the box. So again, we've kind of already made a video going over our predictions, but that's really what we're expecting. So what we're really hoping for is Dark Device to 1 or Apocalypse to 2 to basically force you down to 1 copy of the Dark Device. We're hoping that Light Galaxy gets hit in a way where they end up with 1 or 2 limit 3s. And our picks for that were Trileo and Galactiara Fuse Eve, because one of those cards is old and because one of those cards is a box R. And we also want to see some of the legends get hit. We want to see Compulse go down to 1 and basically every deck to end up with a limit 1 or all the good ones to basically force them for Compulse. And we want to see Pot of Greed go to 3 so that decks that play limit 3s could no longer play Pot of Greed. But without further ado, let's find out exactly what happened. And obviously we'll be starting with speed as well. We already did kind of go over our speed stuff in the video as well, but we did want Catapult Turtle banned. That is a huge change. That is really good. Looks like Incarnation has been hit. We did want to see Schism hit, but that's fine. Sonic Jammer. Guard Dog. Again, I did want this banned. I know a lot of people like this card because you can play it in Tin Angle, but I don't. A Weasel. We got Gift. Change Tactics. Reshadow Wendy. Another Shadow hit. That's probably for the best. Again, I'm a casual speed player. I'm just like tangentially interested in what's going on here, right? We got Shio, so that basically means you can play like limit 1s and Dragon Maids. Wolfreya, Hidden City. I don't really like Hidden City getting on hit, but I'm not a big fan of that deck. So, Dear Servant, Compulse, Infinity Launcher, Salamangreat Great Foul. Okay, Rush Duel. Here we go. Okay, I mean, I'm a little bit sad on speed that we don't have like Lava Golem hit, but yeah, you know, neither here nor there. Rush Duel. Let's see, we've got limit 1. Compulse. Okay, so we did predict that Compulse would go to limit 1. This is not too surprising. The issue is just putting this to limit 1 doesn't do anything. So we now have to give Light Galaxy and Dark Galaxy another limit 1 to actually get them off of this. Let's see what the next card is. Pot of Greed to 1. Okay. So right now, you're basically telling people you can either use Compulse or you can use Pot of Greed. So if you're not using Pot of Greed, you're going to be using Tribute to the Doomed or Hammer Shot, depending if you really need a way to get rid of face-down monsters. Trap card is a lot easier. You just swap off of Compulse to Negate Attack. I mean, you could use Widespread or Trap Hole, but like Negate Attack is probably the next best go-to. Negate Attack is still really good, though. The main reason to use Compulse is because your opponent has something that can destroy the back row on summon, so Extra Plasma is like the current big offender of that. We'll have to see. If we get more limit 1s, like if we get another limit 1 to both Light and Dark Galaxy, then this is going to be a really good change. Scrubbing Santa Cloth. Okay, Santa Mill is dead. Santa Mill is dead. I think this is a good change. I think Santa Mill is really cool when it's an underdog, but when, for example, we had the Fate format where we were waiting for a load of changes before the Light and Dark Galaxy came out, it felt like Santa Cloth stopped being like this really interesting, fun option and became like this really cringe mill deck. So I'm quite happy to see that gone personally. Dark Hole Device, that is huge. We did predict this as well. So this is going to basically force Dark Galaxy off of Compulse and Pot of Greed if they still want to run their little combo. But we still need to see a limit 1 on Light Galaxy. No limit 1 on Light. Okay. So Light Galaxy, if I'm not mistaken, currently doesn't have a limit 1. So that means not a lot changes for them. They have to take out either Pot of Greed or Compulse. Taking out Compulse isn't the end of the world, because you just replace it with NA. If we take out Pot of Greed, again, it's a little bit more annoying, but they'll make do, right? They can just put Hammer Shot in the deck and probably be fine. So I'm not sure which one we're actually going to end up standardizing, but this doesn't feel like a huge change to Light Galaxy, so we'll have to see what else there is. Limit 2. Okay, is there anything coming on to Limit 2? Maginical Miracle. So we did actually say in our video that we thought Maginical Miracle could get unhit. The other one we did say was Ice Pop Bear. Putting this to 2 is like unhitting it, right? Because there aren't any other Limit 2s this is really going to clash with. So we basically now have 2 copies of Maginical Miracle to play with. This is going to be a really big buff to Psychics. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think if they gave us Jamp Check, that would be a really, really big buff. If they gave us Ice Pop Bear, again, really, really good for the deck. I don't know if they're going to do those. I hope we at least get Ice Pop. I think Jamp Check might be a little bit too good. All right, that's it for Limit 2s. Okay, Limit 3s. Here we go. So we need to see Light Galaxy getting hit here. Transcendence Climb. This... All right, so some decks were only playing 1 or 2 copies of Climb. Limit 3ing this basically means I would expect people to play 1 Climb, 2 Secret Order at the moment. Bear in mind, we haven't seen the other cards yet, so there might be another hit in here. But that's my initial thought. Transcendence Climb is still really, really good because you can use it to get, for example, Galactic Oblivion back from the graveyard, and then you can use that to use the skill, which is really, really good. But let's see if there's anything else going on. Void Corridor to 3. That is very heavy-handed. So that now means Dark Galaxy has, as Limit 3, Chrysaor, Star Trancer, and Void Corridor. The deck has 3 Limit 3s, is not currently the best deck in the game, has less Limit 3s than the best deck in the game. We've already hit the deck's consistency by taking out, presumably, assuming people do stick with the Dark Hole device, we're taking out 1 copy of Dark Hole device, and we're taking out Pot of Greed and Compulse, and we're taking Void Corridor as well, or at the very least we're going to have to make them think about it. Like maybe you go 2 Cry, 1 Void Corridor, but even that doesn't seem great. I think this seems a bit heavy-handed, but I do understand it. Dark Galaxy can be very frustrating to play against. It feels like you play the game like correctly every turn, and then they just go herp derp Dark Hole, I win. So I do get it, but it feels very heavy-handed. I would like to see another Light Galaxy hit to make up for this. That's it. Wait. All right, so Mirror Innovator's there. We've just looked at that. We'll talk about that in a second. But, like, so Light Galaxy is basically unchanged? What? Why? So, all right, they have to take out one of their legends and replace it. So that's 1 card difference, right? And then they could just take out, like, a lot of the builds are playing, what, 3 Secret Order, 2 Climb. That's, like, the standard. So you take out, like, 1 Climb, 1 Secret Order, or, you know, however else you do it. You're only actually taking 2 cards out of this deck. Whereas Dark Galaxy is losing 1, 2, 3, I mean, potentially 4, 5, 6. So Dark Galaxy gets 6 cards ripped out of it. Whereas Light Galaxy only has to take 2 cards. I don't know, this feels really weird. Did they not see the results of the WCQ? I think they needed another Limit 3. And again, I think Fuse Eve or Trelio were the ones to pick. I don't think Klein was it. Alright, continuing on. Mirror Innovator Unlimited. This is cool. The Machine Good Stuff list is decent. It's not really been held back by Limit 3. Like, the difference here now is you can play, what, Cyber Dragon in Machine Good Stuff? That's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of potential there, actually. You could even play this with the skill that lets you just, like, create a polymerization into your hand and change the stats of a light monster. So, like, you could use that. I think it's called Light Rage. Something like Rage or something. You could use that in this deck now. That has some potential. I don't know if it's going to keep up, but Mirror Innovator is a hell of a card, and the Cyber Dragon fusions are still really, really strong, so there is some potential there. XQT Riding. Does this matter? I mean, If anything, Execute Your Ride isn't really seeing play. The only deck it was really seeing like widespread play was in Spellcasters, but they seem to have swapped off of it now onto Phantom Bind, so I don't know if that really matters. I'm not sure if this changes much. I don't know if any of the decks that were playing Limit 3s were really worried about having Riding on the list anyway, but Granulas, this is fine. This card was originally limited because it burns, and Konami's really scared of burn. So that's completely fine. Dragon's Fortitude, unlimited. This is, I mean, fine. I don't think there's any reason this card should have been limited. It's a little bit frustrating, so I don't really like playing against the Dragon deck because the skill's kind of bullshit, but this is fine. And then Meet and Greed. This is also fine. Like, this is a funny OTK tool, but we're at the stage where all the best decks are just OTKing you anyway, so what's wrong with letting the silly beast deck also have their chance to OTK? I think that's probably fine. And then that is it. Okay. Overall, I think this is actually fine. The only thing that really stands out to me is we don't have more hits to Light Galaxy. I think they needed another Limit 3. Outside of that, I'm actually quite happy. This is basically what we predicted, right? We did predict that these legends would get hit. We predicted Dark Hole Device to 1. We predicted we'd get back Maginical Miracle. We predicted that Light Galaxy would receive a Limit 3. We just predicted it'd be a different one, and we predicted that they would get 2, right? The Unlims, I don't think is really going to change anything. Like, Mirror Innovator is the big one, but that's because, again, now you can play the Cyber Dragon in this deck. Outside of that, I don't think it's really changes much. You could also potentially play Magnum Overlord with this, because Magnum Overlord is also, like, it's a level 10 machine. There's a lot of, like, weird stuff you can maybe do with this. This is probably the most interesting thing, the Mirror Innovator. And it looks like there's no skill changes, which was expected, right? We don't typically see the skills that are brand new getting hit. If they were going to do skill changes, it would have been to older skills. So this isn't, like, anything too surprising. But I know a lot of people are waiting for skills to get hit. But you have to remember that after the Gaia GRF, where it was absolutely dominating, it was all 100 top lists, it didn't get hit immediately. It had to wait till the ban list after that, after the KC Cup, to actually get those skill changes and to get those massive, massive nerfs. So I think the next time we have a ban list, that's when we'll start seeing the skill changes, if we're going to see skill changes at all. And that is also most likely when we're going to see the heavier cards of the deck hit, so like the URs, the SRs, right? Because again, they're still too new, Konami's still making a lot of money off of them. But what do you think about these changes? Do you think these are good? Do you think this is a decent list? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching the video. Goodbye!